Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be flipping through June 2026 in my daily journal. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, you guys, the year is officially half over, which means I am officially halfway through this journal. You can see how much chunk it has. I am honestly wishing that I had a new book for July, but I'm going to stick it out with this one. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I used the 2-book system of the Hobonichi avec last year and I loved it. But I switched up to this, which is the Sterling Ink Daily Planner for this year because it doesn't have the weekly spreads and I didn't need them in my journal. So let's go ahead and jump in. As a reminder, I do have flip throughs of all the previous months, as well as plan with me videos showing my setup each month and a plan with me video showing my initial goals and vision board for the year. So this page is done. Now this is I think they call it a calendex. And what I use this for is to document kind of one thought from my daily page. And I also highlight in pink if I'm traveling. So you can see in June, I did a lot of traveling. And then I do media reviews in here as well. So the blue color is for books and purple is for movies. And then I have a photo of me from the month. And this one is from in Banff National Park. Then we go into the monthly calendars. So here is June. And for this calendar, what I do is I essentially pick an icon per day, maybe a couple of icons per day, and just kind of decorate just an overview of the month. I've had a lot of fun with it, of adding multiple stickers and icons and really just playing with it. I don't work on this every day. I tend to do it a couple times throughout the month. I did have a vacation here, so I did add in some stickers that I got on that trip. So I went to Banff and Jasper National Parks in Canada, and I also went to Glacier National Park in Montana, and I didn't get a sticker from there to put in here, but I probably should have. Instead, I used just things from my stash for travel. I used washi tape, cutouts. This was from a daily calendar, a lot of stickers, magazine cutouts, and added little doodles or words for a few things, just kind of highlighting stuff that happened, a nod to what was going on in my life. Then let's get into the daily pages. So each month starts with a blank page, which I use for my goal setting. And I do set this up during my monthly plan with me video. So you can see the setup for this one in my June plan with me. And in June, I was not super successful in my goal setting, including my creating for fun. I didn't really stick with yoga or pickleball. I didn't create a travel album that I wanted to do. It was just not a super successful month for goals. And that was for a couple of reasons. One, because I traveled, that took a large portion of the month, which was one of my goals for the month, was to focus on that vacation. And I did. I had a great time. But I came back sick. So that also made it harder to get back on track. And I also just had a lot going on in general around the house and at work and just life. So that's okay. I'm going to just leave it as is. I didn't really do much of a check-in at the end of the month because I was just ready to move on to July. I started the month strong in here with my journaling, but this was kind of a rough day. As you can see, I listed out things that happened in the day, including I had a pretty horrible kitchen incident where I injured my pinky finger pretty badly. It has healed now, thankfully, but that was really rough for the first couple weeks of the month. It made it difficult for filming and journaling and writing and everything. So then, let's see, I started out the month pretty solid in here. And then I kind of fell off as I got closer to vacation. And so I did a lot of back journaling. I'm just enjoying adding in a lot of ephemera and things. I really have been drawn to adding in flip outs and additional layers in my journal, and you'll see that as we get through June. However, I'm also trying to balance that with not adding too much bulk, so it's always a balance. I really like how this page came out with a mix of pens and color and some doodles and some ephemera, and I just was happy with that page. Here I had done this journaling on the day and then had this extra space. So whenever I get new washi tape, I like to swatch it in here, and I did pick up some washi tape on my vacation. So I came back and swatched it on this day because on the day that I actually got it, I was doing my travel journaling. This day I ordered some stuff from the Coffee Monster Co. and she made this really cute download, freebie download to create your shopping list. So I did that and I included it in here, and I made it a flip up because I'm obsessed with flip ups right now and just adding more layers. So I was able to add more journaling and stuff underneath there. And then again, coming up on vacation, I have been rewatching all of Grey's Anatomy, and as I finish each season, I've been doing just a little recap of the season and my thoughts about it. I didn't do it for, I think, like the first 8 seasons, which I wish I had, but that's okay. The later seasons I don't know as well because I have rewatched like the first few seasons many times, but the later ones I only watched them once they came out. So I'm currently on season 18, and I have only seen these once before. Here I added some washi because I had the new kits from Coco Daisy. Adding in a book review and getting ready for vacation, adding in some magazine cutouts, my last day of work. I like to add in a lot of screenshots, so I have been printing them out on sticker paper. I have this one for travel, and this is one that was just kind of funny because I was going to places where you have to be aware of bears, so I thought that was funny. Adding an ephemera from a new traveler's notebook. And then we get into my travel part. So my travel journaling spreads, I add a lot more in because I do really recap everything that I do on vacation in here, and I bring this with me. So for my travel day, I added in our ticket or my boarding passes. I added, this was from the lodge I stayed at, so I did some journaling there and just adding in a lot of details. I also shared photos of these over on my Instagram, so if you want to see more of that, you can see that there. Here I added in a postcard with the flip out, sticker. I buy all sorts of things or collect things, like this was the free map, and just add it all in here. I also bring a sticker or a photo printer that prints photos on stickers when I travel. It's a selfie square. I will link it in the description box below if you are interested in it, if it's still available. And I like to have that so I can add some photos in here while I'm traveling. I do bring some supplies with me, but not a ton. Instead, I focus on trying to find things there and get stuff. So like this, I was on from the map. This was the stamp from the National Park stamps. And here was a sticker I got there. Another sticker I got, the postcard. This was from a flyer, and my photo. So just some of these were embellishments that I brought. And some of this stuff like this, I did this before I left. So I do a little bit of setup before I go. Then for our second day at Glacier, I got this flyer about telling the difference between bears and about being careful around bears. And I just thought it was super fun. So I added that as another flip out, another photo, a piece of the flyer from the boat company we took, another cutout from the map, just enjoying that. Then on this day, we stopped in Calgary and then drove to Banff. I had set this up in advance because that was the day we were going to Banff, but I didn't really realize ahead of time that we were going to spend most of the day in Calgary. So if I had known that, I would not have put that on here, maybe put it at the bottom or set this day up for Calgary. So I added in a sticker I got in Calgary, and then just the page is mostly about Calgary, but this is just in the middle because that's where we're heading. And then this was our first day in Banff, adding in some ephemera that I picked up and doing a bunch of journaling. And then for day 2, I added in a photo and such. And then I got a postcard and created an insert here. I struggled to put these in. I need to work on figuring out how to do tip-ins better. But I added just some ephemera on the back. And then day 3, we went to Jasper National Park, so I added that in. And then day 4, we went to Canmore. I really like how this page came out. I love all the tip-ins and such from these pages, but this one's a little more simple, and I still am very happy with how it came together. This was the last spread of our trip, and I finished this one once I got home. So this was our road trip day to Missoula. And so I put just a collection of ephemera. I got a sticker from when we got ice cream. I got a Missoula sticker. This was a cutout from my coffee in the morning from the cup sleeve. And then this was just a sticker that I had in my stash. So I just wanted to do a collection of circles. And then this was the day we traveled home. So I added in a free sticker I got in Missoula. And then I printed out some art for Juneteenth because this was also Juneteenth. And then once I got back, I was sick. I added in a book review because this was a book I finished while traveling. Again, I didn't want to devote part of a travel spread to my book because I had so many other things to include. And then I just never finished this page because I was sick and traveling and just all the stuff I had to do leading up to travel. I fell really behind in my journal outside of my travel spreads that I did while actually traveling. And so I had a lot to backfill, but I really wanted to just be done with it, move on to July, film this video, and share with you what I have. So this is one of the pages I just never got to finishing. The first day of summer, I was in here. I don't love how this came out. I liked that I used fun colors, but I wasn't thrilled with how it looked. Back to work. I did some journaling that day, and then I just never finished my page. And I kind of wish I had, but again, on one of the pages I didn't finish. Here is back to the office. I knew I just wasn't going to have that much time to journal, but I did find a little bit of time to journal that day. So I came in my craft room for 5 minutes and just put this page together so I wouldn't fall further behind, which I really am happy that I did. I was really obsessed with journaling. I go through phases where I really want to journal more. And once I got back and was starting to get over my cold, I really wanted to journal a lot. So I did a lot in here, but I was focused on finishing my daily pages, but also doing backfill of a lot of these earlier June pages and backfilling my other planners and journals, which I will share in a separate video probably later this week. We'll see when I get to filming that one. But I did have a lot of gaps to fill. So here I'm kind of journaling about journaling and how I'm making time for it and how I was actually super excited about journaling and having a lot to catch up on. Here, getting better from my cold. And then I was starting to think about my 2027 lineup. So I decided to use the rest of this page to do a kind of a reflection on my current lineup and what I wanted to maybe do for 2027. I know we still have half of 2026, but I know a lot of you are also thinking about that because I shared this on Instagram and everyone said that they were also already thinking about their 2027 lineup. There's already so many pre-orders or sneaks for 2027 and it's part of the fun, right? So it's never too early to start thinking about it. Here's my past day, and I just did some journaling on here. I meant to finish it, but I think it looks fine like that. Again, this was kind of a time where I was enjoying being in my journal and wanting to focus on my current day, but also balance that with back journaling. So some days it was more successful than others. Saturday, I just felt super stressed because there was so much I had to do. So I just decided to put my to-do list in here just so I can kind of see what that looked like at the time. And then I highlighted everything in green that I did this day and everything that I finished on the Sunday in yellow, which you can see I didn't get to a ton of things, but that's okay. Then we had some plumbing issues in my house. So like I said, here I was already super stressed. And of course, when it rains, it pours, which kind of works for a couple things for, you know, being stressed and more stress coming on top of it, and also a plumbing issue. And so I journaled about that and about my day. Pumpkin went outside. And then this day was ranting more about the journaling about our plumbing issue, which ended up getting resolved and it's fine. But, you know, it's $1,500 I didn't need to spend on something, and it was, you know, just inconvenient and annoying. And then finished Grey's Anatomy season 17. And then for the 30th, I just never had time to finish this page, and I saw someone on Instagram kind of say like, oh, well, I had a blank page. Let me just put all the things I printed and never used. So I put a couple of memes on here. I had put these on the actual day. They were from, I think, bell peppers, because I need stuffed peppers for dinner. And I just never came back. Maybe I'll add like a note of what this is, but that's okay that it's blank. Often that happens towards the end of the month because I'm trying to wrap up that month to film this video and move on to the next one. And then this journal also has a blank page when the month ends on the left-hand side. So because it was halfway through the year, I decided to do a mid-year goal check-in. And I had fun just adding some washi and colors on here just to kind of do a little bit of reflections on what has happened so far in 2026, my bigger accomplishments and personal goals and things that I'm working on. And then the end of the month is always my vision board for the month, which I put together in my Plan With Me video. So if you want to see that, this came together in my June Plan With Me video. And there are a few pages in the back, but I did not really do anything in there in June. So I will share an update on that hopefully in July if I have a chance to add a little bit more to it. But that is a look at how my journal came together for the month of June. And if you want to see more, I have images of some of my favorite pages over on Instagram, and please stay tuned. I will share more of this and my other journals here on my channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.